Hello everyone, welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. In today's video we're going over the best Titan exotics to use for Trials of Osiris. Now I already made videos for both the Hunter and the Warlock, so if you guys have not seen that video yet and you are interested, go check those out. I'll give a quick rundown as to how I do this. I do this via a tier list that I have made myself. I have separated all Titan exotics into 4 different categories, so let's get started. We'll start off with Dunemarchers. The exotic perk reads faster sprinting and chain melee damage. It not only improves your sprinting, but it also improves your slide distance. If you have seen my Warlock and Hunter videos, you know that I love the transversive steps and the stompies. Why? Because they're a movement exotic. These movement exotics help you improve your neutral game. Your neutral game is pretty much anything that isn't an ability. The reason these are so good is because you don't have to do anything. You just put these on and the effect is there always. On top of that, you can chain lightning with these, so if people are close together and you punch someone, chances are they'll get chained by lightning. And now this lightning does a lot of damage, so if your teammates are there with you, you'll allow them to get easy kills. It not only works when you're playing normally, but it also works when you're in your super. Check out this clip where I kill people just with the lightning and not with my super.
Oh my god, what is that bullshit at?
Oh my god, you saw that shit? All in all, the Dunemarchers are definitely one of the best Titan exotics to use. Next up, we have Antaeus Wards. The Antaeus Wards allow you to reflect incoming damage while sliding. And when you reflect things, you gain super energy. But it doesn't stop there. The shield covers you 360 degrees. So it doesn't matter if you're sliding forward. If someone hits you from the back, you'll block that damage. Now these are extremely useful for shotgunners. I'm sure snipers can also benefit from using these. Shotgunners benefit the most in my opinion because you are able to close down the gap between you and your enemy much safer. And honestly, right now I think these exotics are broken. They're just overpowered and you're pretty much allowed to play like a dumbass. It does, however, take some timing because when you slide, the shield is only there for maybe half a second to a second, and on top of that, it's also on a cooldown, so you can't just spam slide and you'll always have the shield. It does take some amount of effort to use these, but if you get the timing done right, you're able to abuse the hell out of these. Next up, we have Synthoceps. Now, the ability on this exotic allows you to have a further melee range, and you do more damage to people if there are multiple people around you. Now, this is another exotic that improves your neutral game, and when paired with the right perks, these are very deadly. For example, on the Code of the Missile, you have something called Ballistic Slam. Ballistic Slam pretty much just lets you crash land into your enemies. In some cases, if enemies are grouped together and you have Synthoceps, you are able to one-hit kill all of them. There are many examples on how to use the Synthoceps, but I just won't go over all of them. It would just take way too much time. All in all, if you want an exotic that's easy to use, try out the Synthoceps. Next up, we have Citan's Ramparts. This exotic is new to this season. It allows you and your teammates to shoot through your barricade, but it comes at a cost. Your barricade has less health than normal barricades, but these are extremely useful to get in some damage and hold down lanes. If an enemy sees you put down this barricade and they're smart, chances are they'll probably leave you alone for the meantime. So these are perfect for getting in free damage and getting map control. Next up, we'll go into the A tier, and to start off, we have our good old friend, the Eyed Mask. Now, the Eyed Mask is definitely not as strong as it once was, but it still has some utility. You don't get the extra damage with Vengeful, and you don't have wall hacks anymore, but they brought back the overshield portion of the perk. Essentially, if you win a 1v1, you regen your health and you get an overshield on top of that. I can't tell you the amount of times I've lost a melee trade with a Titan only to have them regen their health, get an overshield, and then kill my teammates right after that. It's not as strong like I said, but it still has some utility if you use it correctly. Next up, we have ACD Feedback Fence, which are underrated in my opinion. The exotic perk reads melee kill store explosive defensive energy. Pretty much what this does is if someone punches you, they'll get damaged, but it also stacks, so the more you get punched, the more damage it'll do. It stacks up to 3 times. The ACD Feedback Fence is best utilized in playstyles that involve getting right in the enemy's face. The ACD Feedback Fence also gets better when you pair this with the perk that allows you to regenerate health on melee kills. Not much else can be said about these exotic gauntlets. They're good, but they're not amazing. Next up, we have the Armamentarium, which allows you to have 2 grenade charges. Now this exotic is heavily underrated in my opinion, because in trials, supers win games. And if you're using a sentinel, you have the ability to have suppressor grenades which shut down supers. So if the sentinel has a suppressor grenade that can shut down supers and the Armamentarium gives you 2 grenade charges, you're able to have 2 suppressor grenades. All in all, the Armamentarium is great, but other exotics do a much better job for you all around. Next up, we have the B tier, and to start off, we'll go over the Ashen Wake. The exotic perk reads, fusion grenades now explode on impact and gain increased throw speed. Final blows with fusion grenades grant grenade energy. These exotics have the potential to make your fusion grenades kill people in 1 hit. But they are very situational because you have to have certain perks stacked with these in order to kill people with 1 hit. For example, in order to kill people with 1 hit, you would need Roaring Flames ×2. And in trials where there aren't a lot of enemies, stacking Roaring Flames ×2 is extremely difficult. That means you would need to kill 2 out of the 3 enemies in order to proc 1 hit kill grenades. At that point, you're losing the utility of this exotic. This exotic might be better in 6v6, but in Trials of Osiris, it's not as useful as it could be, which is why I put it in the B tier. Next up, we have Crest of Alpha Lupi. This exotic allows you to regenerate your health when putting down a barricade. This exotic is situational because you won't always have your barricade, and in most cases, smart players won't push titans in barricades unless they know they for sure will get the kill. And with this hard light meta, chances are the people that are on the opposite end of your barricade will shoot down your barricade and then kill you. Why give up an exotic slot to use this exotic? Next up, we have Insurmountable Skullfort, which reads, kills with arc melee abilities trigger health regeneration and restore melee energy. Now this is best paired with Top Tree Striker, which gives you the ability to have shoulder charge. But as we all know, Top Tree Striker is very underwhelming. You also might not have the chances to shoulder charge different people in 1 round, so that's why I put this exotic at the B tier. Next up, we have Eternal Warrior, which gives you the ability to gain an overshield when activating Fist of Havoc. This exotic is only useful when using your super. I have seen people in the past switch to this right before using your super, so that's why it's situational and at B tier. This exotic is not meant to be worn at all times, which in turn makes it situational. Last but not least, we have the Actium War Rig. The exotic perk reads, steadily reloads a portion of your equipped auto rifle or machine guns magazine from reserves. Now this exotic revolves around using your auto rifle, and in this meta, hard light is very strong. So in combination with one of the best guns in the game, this can be extremely useful, but at the same time you're losing a lot of utility that the other exotics provide. At the end of the day, all this exotic offers you is the ability to spray your hard light even more than you already do. Well, that's it for me today, guys. I'm sorry if I dragged this on longer than I should have. Let me know what you guys think about this tier list down below in the comment section. Let me know if you disagree or agree with my choices and whether or not you feel like I should have included another exotic. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.